Hello and welcome to Dude's Comics of the Week. I'm Jason and this is my weekly video where I take the 5 books I enjoyed the most this week and review them and then give them a rating out of 5 stars. This week was a tough week. There were some really good books this week. I think out of all the books I got 12 books in total, and I think it broke down as like there was only a couple I gave for 4, the rest were all 5s. So it was a really strong week, a really tough week to kind of narrow down the books that are going to be in my top 5, but I did it. So here we are. Without further ado, let's go into those reviews and see which were my comics of the week. So first up in my comics of the week we have Action Comics issue number 29 from DC Comics, and this is just a really great Superman story. Forget it's the New 52. This is just any kind of era you want to put it in. This is just a great story. The way that Superman reacts to situations just feels really authentic Superman, and I just had a real blast with this story. I like how we tie up a lot of loose ends and a lot of things are kind of explained at last, which is really cool. I love the showdown between Superman and the Ghost Soldier and the clever way Superman finds to deal with the Ghost Soldier. I really like because it shows that Superman isn't just strength, that he's also really intelligent. I loved the Ghost Soldier. I thought he was a fantastic creation, and I'm looking forward to finding out more about him in the future. Lana Lang I think is really brilliantly written. Strong female character who doesn't back down, but at the same time is a real kind of like comfort for Clark to have. The art as well by Aaron Kuder, I could kind of gripe with some of the way he draws Lana Lang. I didn't quite like some of the art there, but I think the rest of the book is just bloody awesome. Some of the sequences with Superman when he goes to fight Ghost Soldier are just brilliant, and all in all this was just a really good book. And I thought that the story was going to completely finish, but there is kind of a bit of a cliffhanger at the end, because I thought it was going to get doomed next, that big story they got coming up. But unless this is going to play into that, I don't know. But Greg Pak has just done a first-class job since jumping onto this book. Definitely well worth picking up if you're a Superman fan. And I give Action Comics issue number 29, 5 stars out of 5. So next up on Dude's Comics of the Week we have Starlight issue number 1 from Image Comics, and this book I primarily picked up because it reminded me of Flash Gordon. I thought it was going to be that kind of genre, and I'm really glad I picked this one up because I really enjoyed it. It was a really great book. It's written by Mark Millar, who's a guy who's like some stuff I like, some stuff I don't like of his, and Goran Parla, who I loved his art on Fury Max. So it was a good creative team, but the story was the thing that hooked me here. Our main character is Duke McQueen, and very much in the vein of Flash Gordon, he has gone through this wormhole to this other galaxy where he's helped free this planet from a tyrant. Then before the wormhole closes, he comes back to Earth because he wants to be with his love, with his wife, and then he returns to Earth and he's mocked for saying that he's been to alien planets and met these aliens, and he has to resign from the Air Force and basically lead a mediocre life. And we kind of join the story when his wife has died and he's dealing with his first year without his wife. The structure of the story is really cleverly put together as we kind of jump between the present and the past, and you know, and the way it's structured, it's always at the right time you get the right bits of information, and by the end you've pieced together the story. But it's really well done, because in other hands it could have been really confusing, but the way Millard puts it together, yeah, you're totally spot on. I think I resonated with this character a lot more because of how he feels lost without his wife. I've just got married myself last July, and I know now I couldn't imagine my future without my wife there. I know whenever I think about the future, my wife's always in it. So I can really empathise with the character and how he has this big loss of, like, you know, he's not got his wife, his best friend anymore. So, you know, and so that was something that really endeared the character to me. Also, I like the realism of this book, of the way that he's treated, that he isn't treated as a hero, that people mock him and joke because he's got no proof that there's aliens. And I thought that was really realistic, and it takes the science fiction story and it gives it an extra bit of an edge, because you've got that realism in there and how people are reacting to him and to the whole situation. The art by Parloff is brilliant. You get so much expression into his characters, and by the end of the book I was just hooked for the next issue. And yeah, this is definitely going to be one I'm adding to my pull list, and I give issue number 1 of Starlight 5 stars. So the third book to make my comics of the week is Forever Evil, issue number 6 of 7. And this issue was awesome. It really kicks into high gear, this issue, as we're getting to the end of the event now. We have Batman and the Injustice League, which is Lex Luger's group of villains. I don't believe they've been called the Injustice League in the actual book, but in the solicits it's always calling them the Injustice League. But anyway, they go up against the crime syndicate this issue, and that leads for loads of awesome action. I know at school we used to love it when the girls would fight, because boys are pretty much straightforward. We fight, we just thump each other. But girls were really dirty. They would pull each other's hair, they would bite, they would scratch. And it was much more exciting watching the girls fight than a couple of boys. And it's kind of like that with this. When you know the hero's back with the heroes are going to have this moral line that they're not going to cross, they're not going to kill. Whereas the villains, villains go up against villains, and both sides have no moral dilemma with taking a life. It adds that extra element to it, and I really enjoyed it. I especially liked the whole Johnny Quick against Captain Cold. I thought that was a fantastic sequence. I really enjoyed that. And all in all, the fight sequences in this issue were really great. We have the Murder Machine, which is an interesting device that they hook up to Nightwing, and it's this device that's got this bomb on it, and the only way to defuse the bomb is to kill the person attached to it, because their heart is the thing that's, powering it. So it's kind of, Batman has this moral dilemma. Does he kill Nightwing and save everybody else, or does he let everybody else get blown up so he can save Nightwing? It's a real dilemma for Batman, and a choice that ultimately gets taken out of his hands. I won't spoil what happens, but I do think that there's an extra twist to the tale yet, and I want to elaborate on that because it will end up spoiling it, but I think next issue we're going to have a bit more on that. We also get the identity of the prisoner, the guy that's been under the hood all this time. It doesn't disappoint. It does lead to the question of, if he was such a threat, why bring him over? But I'm hoping next issue Jeff Johns is going to answer that. But for this issue, the reveal does not disappoint, and yeah, this event has just been, I personally really enjoyed it, and this is probably the best issue yet. The art as well by Finch, I think, is some of the best art he's ever done. He really toned back his art, because sometimes I like my heroes to be larger than life, but I don't like them to be steroid large. And sometimes Fitch's work can be like that. But this has been really restrained with his artwork in this one, and it's been brilliant. Like, some of the expressions in this really capture the emotion, and it's really, really top-notch art from Finch. And all in all, I really enjoyed the book, and I give Forever Evil issue number 6 5 stars out of 5. So my penultimate dude review today on Dude's Comics of the Week is Clone issue number 15 from Image Comics. And this issue, it really lives up to the whole saying of an explosion ending, as we literally get an explosive ending as the house where the clones have been hiding out gets blown up. This issue was just awesome. The art is top notch. Nothing I can complain about with the art. It's just superb. The story is fast paced and action packed. We have this situation where we get the origin of these female clones, and then we learn about this island, but only the clones can go and live on the island, but only Gamma knows this, and he knows if he goes to Luke, Luke isn't a clone per se, but he's the original, and if he goes to Luke, Luke isn't going to come, that he's going to stay with his wife, because they've just kind of really made it up, and they're closer than ever, and there's no way he's going to leave her now. With all that they've been through and all that they've sacrificed, he's not going to leave her. So that kind of gives Gamma a kind of problem, but Gamma, being the smart dude that he is, approaches it in a way that I didn't see coming, and it really creates some interesting situations. By the end of the book, like I say, everything's gone to hell. Just as you think we might get a bit of a happy ending, everything goes to hell, and it's just really exciting, and I can't wait for May when the next issue comes out. Another thing that I really like about this book is the way Image bring out their trades, because they've got the third trade of this coming out this month. So if you've not been buying this book, you can buy the first 3 trades, and when the next issue comes out in May, you can get it in single issues because you'll be bang up to date. And I think that is a fantastic business model for Image to have, and I'm a bit surprised that DC and Marvel haven't pinched that idea, because they seem to be more obsessed with getting the monthly kind of how many books we can sell and what ways we can kind of make it, you know, a high rating for that month, and they don't look at the bigger picture of creating an audience. And I really think Image, the way they do their trades, makes their books so accessible, and I certainly think it's something the so-called big two should look at. But Clone is just an awesome book. I wish more people were reading this, because yeah, it is truly brilliant, and this issue just delivers on every aspect, and I was just it's an absolute joy, and I give Clone issue number 15 5 stars out of 5. So the final book in my reviews today of my comics of the week is Green Arrow issue number 29. This was the first book I read, and as soon as I put it down, I knew this was going to be on my comics of the week. It's just an all-round brilliant book. Sorrentino's art is on top form. Even when you haven't got innovative layouts, the art is still just fantastically awesome. The writing as well, this issue is really great. Everything's really building nicely. All the separate stories are really building nicely. A couple are coalescing together, like the Kimono and Green Arrow stories are kind of coalesced together now, and I'm on one path, and you've got the stuff going on with Diggle and the others back in Seattle. So this is just an awesome book, and if you love the TV show, there'll be elements here you'll recognize and you'll enjoy it. But if you just love really good superhero books, this is just one of those, and it is brilliant. I love the whole concept of the clans and the different clans we're meeting, like the Shield clan and the Spear clan, and it's just another really great issue, and the turnaround that they've done on this book is phenomenal, and I'm super excited for the next issue. The end of this one, you will not believe. It is just awesome, and I'm super excited to see where this book's going to go, and I give issue number 29 of Green Arrow 5 stars out of 5. So that's Dude's Comics of the Week for another week. I will be back on Sunday with Dude's Comic Book Roundup, where I review the other books that I got this week. The books that you will see reviewed in that video are Captain America issue number 18, The Phantom Stranger issue number 17, Velvet issue number 4, The Punisher issue number 3, Green Lantern issue number 29, Swamp Thing issue number 29, and She-Hulk issue number 2. All of those books, like I say, will be reviewed in Dude's Comic Book Roundup. That will be up some point on Sunday. Then after that, fingers crossed, I'm hoping Monday I'll have another Marvel Ultimate Graphic Novels review, and then next Wednesday we kick off Comic Book Week again with another new Comic Book Day haul. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everybody who's been watching my videos and commenting. I've been Jason. This has been Dude's Comics of the Week. Bye for now.